Hey, what's going on, guys? Michael Prooksma here, and I got a powerful message for you today that is going to be like, holy crap, you never noticed this? I never did until 5 minutes ago, guys. Do you know that everything we watch, read, or listen to have like a core message? And do you know why a lot of people's lives are just struggling, stressed, always worried, like can't look at the brighter side, it's always bad, negative. Guys, I want you to take out a piece of paper now and just create a little graph, kind of like this. And I have like the news, like you want to watch the news. What is the news always about? Bad, like, oh, someone just robbed the store. Oh, someone just got shot. Oh, the government. Oh, you better watch out the gas prices. Oh, everything is always negative, negative, negative. And all that comes into your head, guys, it comes out too. And then it's all like you don't understand how powerful you really are, like the vibrations. Like, you guys might think I'm freaking kidding, but like if you're happy and you're enjoying life and you're loving life, you send out like positive vibrations. But when you're mad, when you're pissed off, when you're always worried or stressed or something, you give off like a bad vibe or a bad vibration, and then it just comes back more bad, and then it's like a downward spiral. But if you could get into you know getting some good information in your head, and when you put good information in, good information comes out. So I just want to finish. And then there's tabloids and talk radio, but what this equals is, look, danger. People are bad. They are ruining your life. Can you just imagine having a 5-year-old growing up and watching the news, listening, reading like the tabloids and hearing gossip, and listening to talk radios that are just freaking ridiculous, I think. And they're all just putting like messages in your head that's like bad, negative, no, and then your life gets so freaking stressed out because you're worried about things that probably don't even pertain to you, probably things that don't even matter if they happened, if you saw about it or not. It's not going to change your life whatsoever. It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. It just matters what you're doing and what your plans are for the future. Why don't you make something out of yourself instead of always sitting there, you know, glued to the TV watching the certified negative network that is just trying to, break you down, and, so then they can have the next news story that, oh, people are just giving up and they know life sucks and all that stuff. When really, if you just put in good information, guys, good information comes out, and you can share your story and empower people and just create a better lifestyle. And once you become a better person, your income follows. You can't just, make $1 million. You gotta learn and grow up to that point. And guys, I've found the vehicle that is driving at 200 miles an hour right now. All we need to do is open the door and get in. But I just wanted to make let you know about that message. I mean, that's powerful, guys. That is so powerful. If you didn't notice that or not, now, like, be aware of like what you're watching, who you're surrounding yourself with. A lot of people don't want you to succeed because they're too damn lazy to succeed. When you ask them something, you're gonna get a lot of no's. You're gonna get a lot of, why are you doing that. But I can tell you one thing: if you do something for yourself, if you worry about yourself for once and concentrate on your own future, not worry about what everyone else out there is saying you're going to just prosper, and guys, you're going to have a better life. And you choose the people who you want in your life. You know, you spend more time with the people you love, spend more time with your family, watch your kids grow up, be there for them, and just create a legacy that you can leave behind for your family so they will never have to worry about getting a job or worrying about their future. Because, guys, I'm telling you right now, this is going on and it is freaking booming. But right now, um, I want to share a really, really, really awesome video of Tony Robbins. He is such an inspirational kind of a speaker. I mean, guys, there's just so many awesome people out there that if you just like watch videos, listen to like audios, and we have all that stuff inside the Empower Network when you join our team. Like the Empower Network is, the vehicle to your success. Not only down to like the little details of like changing the way you think, put good information in so good information comes out, and have the most powerful blogging system that is now mobile, so you can build a business and make money online from anywhere in the world. But guys, check this out, man. Tony Robbins is the bomb. I'm just gonna press play.
It's about, what if I could take on another skill that could create more freedom for my life? And just saying, I'm not going to go out and try and do it all perfectly right now. What I'm going to do for the next 8 weeks, I'm going to create a little ritual. I'm going to do one thing a day to condition my mind, right? So that I get strong, so I follow through. I'm going to read something. I'm going to listen to something. I'm going to immerse myself. I'm going to go for an intense jog, or I'm going to go lift weights, but I'm going to do it consciously to get in a state where I'm going to follow through. That's number one, because people follow through when they're in state. Second, I'm going to get clear about why this is a must for me. It's not because my back's against the wall, but because I want to master an area of life that could create some freedom. I'm not going to master it overnight, but I got the system, I got the plan. I'm going to do one thing a day. I'm going to work on one subject a week. This week's going to be about figuring out what the right product or industry is. Next week's going to be basics of building traffic. And each week I'm going to make a little progress, and I'm going to get to a goal, whatever that is. I'm going to make $1,000, my $300 in a week. I'm going to get to my $2,500. That first $2,500 is the most excited.
Unbelievable.
The first $300. I remember
It's life-changing, too.
It is the most life-changing. I remember I was supposed to be a truck driver, making $24,000 a year, because I'd be making the most anybody in my family had ever made.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, real well. Thank God I'm not driving a truck, right?
I think you could pull the truck.
I figured I could pull it with my finger, man. I could do it with my teeth. I could pull it with my teeth, right? $36,000 a year was the goal. If I could make $3,000 in a month. And when I did that, I was out of my mind. And then it was like, could I make $10,000 a month? Then it was $10,000 in a day, then $100,000 a day. Then could I make $1 million in a day? I had a day where I made $400 million in a day. The stock value of the company I took public, my personal stock.
But it was probably after I did it, though, so it doesn't really count. I'm just joking with it.
You're right.
People will remember who's first, Tony.
Awesome.
400 million, $1 million.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares?
No,
I'm not saying
that's amazing, though.
I'm not saying
of course.
because they told me when I was on stage, I had this audience of about 15,000 people at the Continental Center. It was during a stretch break. I was doing what I loved, rocking the house. Everybody's going crazy. And they go, the stock's worth $400 million right now. I was like, wow, that's cool. It's like, okay, no one sounds stupid. It's like, what's next? And I went right back to what I loved. Once you break through, then it just becomes a game. The people that are getting your products have not yet broken through in most cases. The breakthrough happens by conditioning your mind every day, by feeding it a role model or story. It's putting yourself in a peak state where you follow through by getting physically strong. It's creating a little ritual of doing a little bit each day, and then you get momentum. But the most important thing of all is what we started out with. Why?
Absolutely.
Why is it a must for you? It doesn't have to be you're against the wall, but it has to be something you're hungry for, because the only difference in people is hunger. If you're not hungry, get around people that are hungry and something will hit you. You watch a conversation, you get around people that are doing better, and all of a sudden you start going, my life sucks. I remember I went to a guy in LA. It's one of the most multi-billionaire guy, I'll never forget. And I lived in the Del Mar Castle, and I was really proud. That was like the symbol of me having taken myself from being poor to providing for my family this great place. Built from castles in Europe, overlooking the ocean, not far from you. And I went to this guy's house. He's a billionaire. He took me down to his wine cellar. I don't even drink wine. Went through this whole thing. At the end of the night, I was depressed. I lived in the Del Mar tenement, as far as I was concerned. I really was. I was like, I live in a crappy place, and all my standards changed. All of a sudden, I wasn't willing to settle for living that. All of a sudden, my back was to the wall in a different way because as a man, I knew I was capable of more. So people can change their standard by getting around where it's better. People can change their standard by getting associated what's true, like the bills they got to solve, the problems they got to do it, or they can do it because they're excited because it's something new they want to take on. Everyone's different, but they got to find the why, and they got to come up with some daily rituals to get them going, and just do a step at a time. That's where you get momentum.
Awesome.
True
That
that.
is awesome.
So, think about it. What's the holy grail between somebody taking action or not? It's one word: certainty. When somebody is absolutely certain, the common word is believe, right? But, you can believe at a general level or you can believe with certain. When you're absolutely certain that if I do this, it's going to get that result and that result's going to change my life, you'll do it. When you think it absolutely is not going to work, you're never going to do it. The middle no man's land of maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, that's the piece that kills people, right? So if it's a must for you, you got to make it work, right? In our case, right? That's an example. If it's not a must for you and you're not sure, you don't know what to do. So years ago, I'd look around and say, okay, how do people get themselves to follow through that haven't been following through? What's the difference? And I started interviewing hundreds of people, literally, and eventually thousands, because I had thousands of my events. So I'd ask the group to give me their feedback. They came up with this model. It's like the holy grail of belief, or the holy grail of momentum. It's like the difference between what makes the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, right? And the difference we all know is mindset, but how's that built? So this is what I did. I created stupid four little boxes, and I'll scribble it here for you. You think about the first thing that determines whether you can do something or not, and I put that in this first box at the top here on the left side. It's potential. What's the potential of the human being? When you guys started, you proved something no one had done in history. You ran the 4-minute mile, right? For golly knows how many centuries, they're trying to run a 4-minute mile. Roger Bannister does it. How did he do it? Do you remember? You did it in this industry, right? You made $1 million in a day. No one had ever done that in history, right? After you did it, a bunch of other guys are doing it because it became possible. Roger Bannister didn't just go physically practice. He made a shift in his head. He practiced in his head because he could never achieve it physically, so he had to change in his head first so that the result became certain enough he believed it, and then his body got him through. After Roger Bannister ran that 4-minute mile, within 2 years, 37 people ran a 4-minute mile.
It's amazing.
When no one in history had ever done it. Now, here's how it works. The potential for anybody getting your product is extraordinary. They can do what you've done as much, more or less. They can do whatever they want to do. The potential's there. The market's proven that. Whether or not they tap into that potential has a lot to do with what action they take, which is the question you came to me with, right? God, they all this potential, but they're not taking action. And we all know that the action they take is going to determine the results they get. That's pretty obvious. So most people have a belief about what their real potential is no matter what you tell them. And that affects how much action they take. And of course that affects the result. And then ironically, that result reinforces their belief. And then that belief affects it. So I'll give you an example. Let's say a person has unlimited potential, we all agree. But they take little action, little results. Why? Because they have to start with a problem with their belief. They don't believe it's really going to happen for me. Maybe for Frank Kearns because he's got the cool hair and stuff, or maybe it's for you because you're so driven, but it's not me. Maybe Tony Robbins because he's a freak, got these big teeth. Whatever their thought process is, right? They got this thing, right? But what happens is, if you believe that there's very little potential, how much action are you going to take?
Nothing.
Nothing, little. And when you take little potential with a little action, what kind of results do you get? Lousy little results. And when you get little results, what does that do to your belief? You go, see, I told you this was a waste of time, told you this wouldn't work. And then what happens? You tap even less potential. You take even less action. You get even worse results, and your belief gets even weaker. And this sucker feeds on itself until you are in a downward spiral.
Poisonous.
It's poisonous and it's self-fulfilling. Now, what if something could happen that could come along and fill you with a sense of absolute certainty? Not like I believe, but mean where you know. In you guys' case, mine as well, we knew because we had to. Because we burned the boats. There was no other option. We had to find a way. We weren't going to live that way. We all did it in different ways and for different reasons, but in essence, that was it. If you get yourself in a state of certainty that this is going to work, I'm going to find the way, and if this doesn't work, I will make the way, then you tap a lot more potential. And when you're certain in your potential, you take massive action. When you take massive action, you really believe in something, you get great results. When you get great results, your brain goes, see, I told you I was a stud. I told you this thing would work out. Now you're even stronger. You tap more potential, take greater action, greater results. That's how you went from $300 in a week to $2,500 in 5 days to $100,000 in a month to $1 million in a day. Same thing with you. And we get momentum. That's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Now some people go out and they go, well, I'm going to take a bunch of action. All right, I'm going to open this product. I'm going to try it. And they'll say to you, I even did it. But it's like a salesman who goes and knocks on the door, and he knocks on 100 doors and says,
you don't want one of these, do you?
yeah, exactly right. And even if he doesn't say it verbally, his face says it because he doesn't believe it's going to work. So his voice, his body, the execution is so weak. Maybe if he talks to 100 people, somebody's going to buy out of pity. He don't want his kids to starve, right? But he's not going to get the result. So the core difference in people is how do you produce certainty when the world isn't giving it to you? You go out and you try, in your case, you're 100,000 in debt and nothing's working. How do you keep yourself going? The way you did it, the way I did it, the way you're doing it, we may not have done it consciously, is we didn't change our potential. That was there. And it wasn't even taking more action. Taking more action with a belief it's not going to work, it's not going to change anything. We got results in our head that made us feel certain as if it had already happened. True or false for you?
True.
Right? So give me an example so people know I'm not just making this crap up.
Well, I mean, just like when I had nothing, I already knew I was driving like Ferraris and Porsches and stuff because I always wanted those cars. I already knew I was going to have them. It was inevitable.
Right.
I inevitably, that was just my inevitable outcome.
But how did you do that? Did you have a ritual? Did you think about it regularly? Was it one time you thought about it, or was it something you had an obsession towards?
I had an obsession towards it. I mean, I used to work at a video store, which is the last job I ever had in my life.
Thank God.
And I used to go to work almost every day, and I used to bring 2 magazines with me to read on my breaks. Entrepreneur magazine, just to read about business and everything else, to read about what other people are doing, look for role models. And I used to carry an Auto Trader with me. And I used to look at Porsches that were for sale.
Yeah.
And people always used to ask me, what are you doing with that Auto Trader magazine? I'm like, well, I'm just picking out the Porsche that I'm going to buy.
Right. Which probably got you a lot of crap.
I did. People made fun of me.
Sure.
I actually had a boss at that job tell me, you really shouldn't do that to yourself, John, because it's very, very likely that is never going to happen. That it's very likely that you're never going to have that car.
Yeah.
That's the kind of belief he was trying to put in my head. And I was like, no, you don't realize that it's inevitable that I will drive here sometime in the near future with that car when I'm not working for you and drop movies off for you to put back on the shelf. And that actually happened. And it was one of the most fulfilling days of my entire life. And the great thing was when I pulled up in this car, I was in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
A car that most mid-20s.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Porsche 911 Turbo. It was a convertible and everything. It was a beautiful car. It was what I always dreamed of having. But, for a few years I always circled the ads of which ones I was going to buy. Well, when I finally got it and I pulled up at the store, I had all these people, some people that were still working at this $7 an hour job were there years after I left. And I'll never forget this, even the boss and stuff, and the reaction of the people was like, wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Is that your dad's car? And all I said to them was, not exactly.
Good for
you. And I just smiled and just left. But it was, it's the weirdest thing, but I just knew it was going to happen.
But you knew it because
I conditioned myself
you did it over and over again.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I was not a popular kid, but I was passionate and intense, and I'll never forget, some particular girls gave me some crap, and a guy too, and I wrote in their journals or their annual yearbook at the end, I wrote, someday, I said, you treated me like hell. Someday I'll be rich and famous, and you'll be an effing truck driver. And you'll be sitting there, I'll be with this beautiful woman of my life, rich, and you'll be watching me on television thinking, you wish you would have treated me better. I actually wrote this shit in people's annuals because I went to a 10-year high school reunion. People showed me that stuff, right? But it's like, I burned the bridges, baby. I was like, this is how it's going to be. So I'll give you a perfect example of this. They did studies, many have been done at this element, where they want to say, how much does the mind affect performance? So take basketball. And I've worked with a lot of NBA players and turned them around, and one of the problems many of them have is they'll choke on the free throw line. Well, everybody knows in that case, if you normally shoot really well and now you're not, something's interfering, something's getting in front of your state, some uncertainty, right? Obviously. So they take a group and say, we're going to make them better. How do you make somebody better who has got this mental block? So they take a group of guys and they're going to do free throws, and they do one group where they just practice for 6 weeks. Totally intense practice, and I forget the number of free throws, but they got to do this many free throws every day. Take a second group, and they have them not practice at all. Obvious. And they take a third group and they don't let them touch a basketball. All they do is have them practice in their mind, but the key is it's not practice makes perfect, it's perfect practice makes perfect, as corny as that sounds. So these guys see themselves making the shot every single time, conditioning their mind and body that it's perfect every time. They're not interrupted by a reality that would screw with them. So at the end of 6 weeks, they tally it up, and now they give them a test to see who has the highest free throw percentage, success. What do you guess it's going to be? Well, the obvious person says, obviously, it's not the guys that didn't practice, but which one is it? The mind, or is it the ones that actually practice?
I'm assuming the mind.
Yeah, you would assume it because it's true.
Right.
You intuitively know the truth. That practicing is not enough. It's getting yourself so certain so many times that now when you go to do it, there's no hesitancy and you execute. It's having that absolute certainty that makes you tap your full potential, take massive action, get massive results, be reinforced having stronger belief. This is what makes somebody a star at anything.
It's like Jack Nicklaus, the golfer.
Yes.
He visualized every shot and where it was going, landing right where he wanted it before he ever hit it.
Every single time. And what do most
Every
golfers
single
do?
time. They just take a practice swing and they kind of hope for the best and point in the right direction and hit it.
And some of them, if they've had some bad hits, what are they really focusing on? I don't want to do.
Exactly.
And that's the same thing here. So I'll show you a little stupid little physical technique for this. So stand up for a second. You guys gonna do it with the camera?
All right, guys. I mean, you could check out more of that video on my website. I'm going to leave a link below this video. But I just wanted to make you aware, make you realize, make you understand that there is a better way to live your life than doing what everyone else is doing. Always, living paycheck to paycheck, not worrying about everything, worrying about if you're going to go back to work next week, or worry about if you call out sick, are you going to still have your job, worry about if you plan your vacation next month, or are they going to allow you to take off, worry about everything when you can just worry about yourself and yourself only, and just transform your life. Just like they said, guys, I'm telling you, you will never be more happy. You will never, it's just a better way, I'm telling you guys. So, I'm going to cut this video off now. I'm freaking just known for taking long videos, and as you can see, this is what I do. Watch a cool video, get some information, process it, and then go out there and make a video and share it with the world, guys. It's not rocket scientist. When you put good information in, good information comes out. Stay positive, guys. Make a decision. Just be certain that it's gonna work no matter what, and make it happen, guys. Visit my website. Check out the link below this video down here that's gonna link you back to my website, and partner up with me, guys. I'm telling you, we're just gonna live a better way, with or without you. There's plenty of people every day that's joining our team and just transforming their life, and we'll be here with you or without you. So make a choice, but I hope you can understand now that be careful what you put in, because that also comes out. And if you guys have kids, I'm telling you, this is where their life starts. Get some good information in them now. Let them know that they are more than who they are. Let them know that they can be anyone they want. Focus on your dreams. Guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I hope this really just put some good information in your head that's going to sit back there and think for a little while. And once you do make that decision, come back to my website. Make sure you bookmark it. Leave me a comment. Share my video, and just help everyone else. Live a better lifestyle. Get out of that rut and dream again.